Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you really want to live in the body and mind you really want to be living in. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of food and body freedom, as well as find more meaning and more moments of joy in life, you are in the right place. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here and listening to this podcast, Weight Loss and Wellness for Real. I am your host, Heather Heynen, and today we are going to talk about a really, in my world, a critical topic that's, I feel, often misunderstood in the world of weight loss. And it really is this: the biggest challenge to sustainable weight loss is not the math, right? It's not the calories in, calories out. It is adherence to a way of eating over the long term. So let's break that down. Most of us are really familiar with the basic math of weight loss. So you always hear, it's calories in, calories out. And if you're my age, I'm 50 years old. Definitely. And if you've been on this roller coaster ride of dieting, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, you've probably been doing this for years. I've been doing this, since my 20s. And definitely back then, it was this message of calories in, calories out. You need to move more and you need to eat less. If you consume fewer calories than you burn, you lose weight. And so it's really this simple math problem in order to lose weight and keep it off. So in theory, yes, this is true, but in practice, in real life, the real hurdle is maintaining a consistent way of eating over months, years, and really in reality, a lifetime. And in my book, it's figuring out a consistent, easy, flowing, effortless way of eating that is enjoyable, that maintains your weight, that keeps you at a healthy weight, that creates a body that you feel confident and good and able-bodied in. So that's what we are going to talk about today. And before we get into all the details, I just want to remind you to head to my website, heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and go sign up for my free monthly newsletter. It just comes once a month. And I never share your email address with anyone. I don't sell it. It is just so you're not going to get all kinds of spam stuff. But go sign up for that. It's just monthly and it's on all things. The topic is always on something well-being. And I always add a high protein recipe in that newsletter, as well as links to any sort of products or services that are supporting the podcast that give you as listeners discount. So head over there. You just scroll to the bottom of any page on the website and you can sign up there. Okay, so continuing on, let's talk about why finding that way of eating, that simplicity, that effortlessness in eating in order to really be in the body we want to be in. Why is it so challenging? Well, first, let's talk about diet fatigue. So many popular diets are highly restrictive. So they cut out entire food groups or they require meticulous counting and measuring. And while these methods can yield quick results, they are often actually, and I would say always unsustainable. Over time, the novelty wears off, your excitement wears off, the rigidity becomes exhausting and overwhelming. It's not uncommon for people to revert to their old eating habits really quickly into something like this. And then, as we always talk about, that leads to regaining weight and often more so than when you first started the diet. And then another big factor, and I work with this a lot on my weight loss coaching clients, is lifestyle compatibility. So a diet might look perfect on paper, but if it doesn't fit seamlessly, and I mean seamlessly, into your daily life, it is unlikely to stick. So for instance, if a diet is requiring you to do extensive meal prep and you have a really hectic, busy schedule, or if it excludes foods that you love, then this diet plan really becomes a source of stress rather than a sustainable lifestyle change. And then there's the psychological aspect. Eating is deeply connected to our emotions and our social interactions and connections. Stress, boredom, celebrations, they all influence our eating habits. And a rigid diet plan does not account for these nuances, this real life. And it really makes it difficult to adhere to some sort of diet plan into the long run. So these are main reasons why a real rigid specific diet does not end up being sustainable, and why most people, I mean, the numbers, it's something like 90% who go on a diet end up regaining the weight back plus some. So let's talk about what can we do to improve adherence and achieve sustainable weight loss. So here are a few strategies. First, and I talk about this in many, many episodes, you want to focus on gradual changes rather than drastic overhauls. So this is about the small, doable daily changes rather than ripping off the band aid and doing things like only eating high fat or never eating a carb again, things like that. So, small, manageable adjustments are more likely to become permanent habits. So, this is like, you want to think of this as investing in these simpler, more easy, doable daily changes, investing in those for long term benefit and outcome. So, instead of cutting out all sweets, all sugar, start by reducing the portion size or finding healthier alternatives. So if you are used to eating, a quart of ice cream every night, then if I were working with you, we would set a guideline of experimenting with 1 pint of ice cream every night. And then as that becomes a habit and becomes okay, because it does become okay when you try these things in small little changes, we would do something like maybe have you switch to a pint of Halo Top, which has, half the calories, but you're still kind of getting that satiation from that pint of ice cream. So these are ways of really implementing these small, doable, daily behavioral changes in order to invest in long term success and figuring out a long term, enjoyable way of eating. Next, prioritizing a really balanced diet that includes a variety of foods. So, we really want to stay away from labeling foods as good or bad. Foods are not good or bad. They are not, we don't want to moralize them. Food is just food. It's doesn't have a personality. It's not good or bad. It doesn't have a value system. It's not good or bad. So, instead of labeling foods as good or bad, you just want to aim for really nutrient dense foods that satisfy your taste buds and nutritional needs. And this approach really reduces feelings of deprivation or thoughts of restriction and makes your way of eating so much more enjoyable and therefore easier to comply with and therefore to sustain. And then, third, being flexible is huge. So, allowing yourself occasional treats and adapting your eating plan to accommodate special occasions and also life's unpredictability. So, flexibility reduces the pressure and guilt associated with straying from a very rigid diet plan. This gets into, and I know I've talked tons and tons about this if you've listened to back episodes, but just to mention it here, hey everyone, just real quick, I wanted to tell you about a new company I've been working with that I am thrilled to share with you. I absolutely love this company. I use them myself and have for a really long time, and that is Kion Aminos. I really think that Kion Aminos stand out because they are one of the very few companies that offer all 9 essential amino acids in their formula and transparently list the exact amounts of each. This level of honesty is really, really rare in the supplement industry. So you truly know you are getting what you are paying for. Supplementing with essential amino acids can significantly aid in appetite control and support muscle maintenance and recovery. I often recommend Kion essential amino acids to my weight loss coaching clients to really help with urges and cravings to overeat. Kion aminos can help you feel fuller longer and really help you to build that lean muscle to keep the metabolism going. Our bodies cannot produce all the amino acids that we need for optimal health. So, essential amino acids really need to come from our diet or from supplements. So, without regular intake, we risk losing muscle mass and bone density, making these nutrients especially crucial as we age. And one of the ways I think about using on aminos is because many of us have a lot of difficulty getting in the amount of protein that we really need on a daily basis optimally. So supplementing with essential amino acids can really help aid with that. I really love knowing that alongside my dietary protein, I'm supplementing with the essential amino acids necessary for my long term goals of strength, muscle maintenance, weight management, and just overall health as I age. So, some quick protocols if you want to try Kion Aminos for weight loss. Mix a scoop with water in the morning and another in the afternoon when you kind of have that energy dip. And this is really my go to routine for appetite control when I'm in the office, because often in mid afternoon, I'm getting into that energy slump. I really start to crave something sugary or caffeine, and I don't want to do either of those. And Kion aminos really help me get through that mid afternoon slump. And then for endurance athletes, taking 5 to 10 grams per hour during workouts longer than an hour can make a huge difference. I ride my bike in endurance. I don't know, routes and races. And so I do take Kion aminos on my rise just to keep my muscles well nourished. It's often difficult to eat when doing long endurance athletic endeavors. And so I use Kion aminos to kind of help supplement with that. And then also, if you've had a tough workout during the day or a really, really hard day, a scoop before bed can help aid in recovery. Since I felt the benefits of Kion aminos, I want to share it with you. And as a listener of this podcast, you can get 20% off by using my referral link, getkion.com/Heather. That's GETKION.com/Heather for 20% off your entire order. Plus, they offer a 60-day money back guarantee. Really, you guys, this is a really exceptional company. You are getting exactly what you are paying for. So that 60-day money back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Check it out. See how essential amino acids can support your weight loss goals and athletic performance and help curb those cravings. Again, once we get into a restrictive mindset, so when we're thinking about food in a restrictive way, we have thoughts of like, I shouldn't eat that, or that's a bad food, or I can't have that. That's a restrictive mindset. And that is going to then create guilt and shame around food, which then we're in the shame cycle, which then often leads to more overeating of the things we're trying not to eat. So it's really important to do anything, to think in a way to reduce the pressure, guilt, and shame that goes along with going off plan. I'm putting that in quotation marks, or going off my diet, or falling off the wagon. We don't want to think or talk that way. We really just want to be flexible in our approach, staying open-minded and not getting into all these rules within a mindset. This doesn't mean we don't have guidelines around food, but guidelines is a very different way to think about how we are eating and how we're creating a food plan for ourselves versus rules versus, I'm a bad person if I break this rule. Guidelines are more about, I think about the guideposts on interstates so you don't fall down the cliff, right? They are there to help keep you in place. But once in a while you may bump up into them, and then we just recorrect and get back on the road. And so guidelines are just a way of thinking about food in a different way. So for example, a guideline for someone for, I don't know, maybe a week, we're running an experiment of we are going to, well, we can go back to the ice cream idea where this person is used to finishing off a gallon of ice cream every night. And instead, we are going to set a guideline of 1 pint per night. And so that's a guideline. We experiment with that for 1 week. We see if that person, how that feels for them to do just a pint of ice cream every night. And then, we do some deeper work there of some journaling around what are those feelings like when you don't have the gallon? Is it satisfying enough? All those things. But we're working on experimenting with a guideline like that. Uh, and okay, so being flexible. And then also, that support piece can be really important as you are working towards figuring out an individual eating way of eating that is sustainable and can last a lifetime for you. So seeking support, it could be a friend, it could be a support group, could be a healthcare professional, having someone to share your journey and provide feedback and ideas. And encouragement. Encouragement is so important. And also accountability. We know that accountability can really help us as we are on this journey to figure out a way of eating that works seamlessly within our lifestyle and that creates and gives us the healthy body that we want to live out our life in. So remember, the goal is not to follow a perfect diet, but to develop a healthy relationship with food that you can really maintain over the long term. And I mean over the rest of your life. It's about finding a balance that works for you, both physically and mentally. This has been a process I was engaged in for years and years. And I will just tell you that the journey through it, although at times is really challenging, and at times I did have to put effort into it, it is so worth it because once you figure out a way of eating that keeps you in the body you want to be in, and that is actually enjoyable. Like, I look forward to my food every single day. I look forward to what I'm eating every single day because I figured out what I enjoy and how to incorporate that and what works for me, what makes me feel amazing, what keeps my physical performance where I want to be, which my way of eating really helps me sleep amazing. Like, I figured out all these things. And by the way, this means I usually have at least 1 or 2 cookies every night. So this is you can figure out a way of eating that you actually enjoy, that you look forward to. I've been there, I've done it. I just really encourage you to get on this journey because it is so freeing once you are there. It is so freeing. Right now, I'm kind of flashing back to all those days and times where food was like what am I going to eat today? What can't I eat today? Oh my gosh, the scale was this morning. I'm so fat. I can't fit into this. Like all the food and body chatter that stole my life, that kept me in a prison within my own head. Being able to break free of that, I just want all of you to be experienced. I just want all of you to experience that. It is freedom and it is joyful and life just opens up. Okay, so in conclusion, sustainable weight loss is less about finding that perfect diet and more about creating a way of eating that you can stick with for life that you enjoy. It's about making gradual, doable, enjoyable changes that enhance your well being without making you feel restricted or deprived. Thanks for listening. I hope you found a little insight in this episode, something valuable. If you did, would you please subscribe or follow the show from whatever platform you are listening from? And if you can rate it or give it a review, that is amazing for the show. It allows the show to be found more quickly and more often by others searching for help, and helps me keep this podcast going and giving an episode to you all every single week. Really, really, really appreciate your support. We will talk soon. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen. and there you will find links to my online courses, how I work with clients one-on-one, as well as online with my coaching and counseling services that I offer. The information in this podcast is intended to provide a broad understanding and knowledge of healthcare topics. This information is for educational purposes only and should not be considered complete and should not be used in place of advice from your physician or healthcare provider. We recommend you consult your physician or healthcare professional before beginning or altering your personal exercise, diet, or supplementation program.